Namaste and welcome to your weekly forecast from July 19 to 25th. This is a genuinely important week. Why? Because on July 24th, Mercury turns direct in the sign of Gemini, ending its 3-week retrograde and helping us think, speak, and connect clearly again. Mercury represents our intelligence and communication and the way our mind processes daily life. So when Mercury moves direct, the mental fog lifts, delayed conversation resumes, and pending discussion find their voice. So let us see what this clarity shift brings to each of the ascendant. Welcome to all the Aries rising. Aries, we have 4 transits this week. 3 belongs to the moon, and the main one is Mercury going direct on July 24th, which is the clarity shift for this week. But let us start with the moon first, the planet of emotions and feelings, to see how we are going to feel this week. On July 19th, the moon will be in the sign of Virgo in your sixth house. Now, Virgo is a earth sign and it's very practical sign. So your mind becomes analytical, practical, and focused on various details, especially related to the sixth house. Your emotional focus shifts towards daily routine, health, and small pending matters. You may feel slightly restless with little things demanding your attention. The moon from the sixth house will also aspect the 12th house, the house of rest and inner life, which means your body will ask for both action and quiet. So the diva tip here is tackle the small pending task these 2 days and then rest properly at night. Avoid arguments, especially with your colleagues, and drink extra water. And also, digital detox before bedtime is highly recommended. Then, on July 21st, the moon will enter the sign of Libra in your seventh house. Now, Libra is a Venetian and an air sign, so your mind becomes relational, harmonizing, and drawn towards beauty and balance. So, your emotional focus shift towards your partner because seventh house represents our marriage, our spouse, our partner. So, your spouse or your closest one-on-one relationship will come into the focus, and you will feel strong pull to connect, to talk, to resolve something which is there on your mind. And the moon from the seventh will aspect your first house, your own self, and so people will find you charming and subtle and approachable. So the diva tip is use these days for honest conversation with your partner. Listen more than you speak, and old tension can soften if approached gently. And if you're single, socializing or meeting new people is genuinely favored. Now on July 23rd, moon will enter the sign of Scorpio, that is in your eighth house. Now Scorpio is intense and a water sign. So your mind turns deep, intuitive, and drawn to what lies beneath the surface. Your emotional focus turn inward. You may feel introspective, intuitive, or quietly intense. The moon from 8th will aspect the second house of family and finances. So that will bring money matters also to your focus, and maybe family dynamics will also quietly surface for these 2 days. So the diva tip is sit with what comes up and do not react quickly. Use these days for research, investigation, or honest reflection. Avoid oversharing or a big financial decision these 2 days. If feelings are overwhelming, then rest and meditate. The moon starts for you with the moon in Virgo, very practical, opens up to relationship and warmth in the mid of the week and turns reflective by the weekend. Now let us look at the major transit of this week. The clarity shift. On July 24th, Mercury goes direct in Gemini in its own sign in your third house. Now this will end the retrograde period that has been slowing down your communication, your daily hustle, and your courage as well. From this shift, things genuinely start to smoothen for you, Aries. Also remember, Mercury represents our communication and intelligence. It governs how we speak, think, and connect with the world. And as it turns direct this week, communication and intelligence flow smoothly for everyone, no matter your ascendant sign. Now, looking at the third house, which represent your communication, courage, siblings, short trips, your skills, and your daily efforts, your communication clears up beautifully. Emails, conversation, and messages now start reaching the right people on the right time. Your personal skills and creative talents come back sharper than before. Anything you have been practicing quietly begins to show its polish. Now, team dynamics and workspace communication also clears up. Misunderstanding with colleagues, tech glitches, and backend confusion find natural resolution. Projects start moving forward with a real pace now. Sibling relationship find a beautiful softening. Old arguments, unfinished conversation, or minor tension with your sibling, brother, sister cousins find their way to repair now. A phone call or a message can shift what felt stuck. So go for it, Aries. Now you can also resume your trips with ease. Short trips or long trips, daily commute, and local travel plans start flowing without any hiccup. For Aries in writing, content creating, marketing, podcasting, if you're a speaker or a media person, you work in media, this week your drafts, your scripts, and your pitches can start begin to launch. And what have been quietly building can go public with real traction. With Mercury going direct, now will be aspecting the ninth house from the third house. So, higher education, paperwork, documentation, visa matters, foreign trips, even dharmic. Any ritual you're planning will start moving forward. Conversation with your father, mentor, boss will also find their way back into your life with clarity. Watch your father's health though. Give him some attention for this week and check on his health. Now, because Mercury is also your sixth lord of daily struggle and workplace matter, this direct shift specifically helps with pending office paperwork, workplace dispute, and daily routine friction. Everything becomes more manageable now. So, just one planet going direct, and so many things can smoothen for us, Aries. Now, with this, let's look at your weekly indicator. Personal is medium, career and money is medium, social is medium, love is medium, health is medium. Everything is medium for you. Nothing to worry. Saturn is there in your 12th house, continues to be there, and demands your attention to sleep and mental rest. The moon dipping into your 8th house from July 23rd can bring some quiet emotional intensity. So, sleep on time, avoid heavy late night thinking, and you can also do deep breathing before bedtime. This will be wonderful. Now, one remedy I want to share with you here is on Wednesday, you can wear green and offer green fruits or vegetable to those in need. Mercury going direct in the third house will respond beautifully to act of kindness through daily effort and green offerings. So, to all the trailblazers, Aries, this is the week your work starts flowing again. So, wishing you a good week ahead, and you can always reach out to me on the given mobile number or email ID if you need any one on one consultation. All the best to all the Aries. Welcome to all the Taurus rising. Taurus, we have four transit this week. Three belongs to the moon, and the main one is Mercury going direct on July 24th, which is the clarity shift of this week. But let us start with the moon first, the planet of emotions and feelings, to see how you're going to feel this week. On July 19th, the moon enters the sign of Virgo in your fifth house. Now, Virgo is an practical and earth sign, so your mind becomes analytical, practical, and focused on details. Your emotional focus shifts towards the fifth house traits, that is romance, children, creativity, and even joy, entertainment, and play. So you may feel a little lighter, more expressive, full of joy, and you would like to connect with people, and you would like to connect with things that can make you happy. So the moon from here, from the fifth, will directly aspect the 11th house of gains, which represents our friends as well, which means social outing or creative expression lands beautifully for these 2 days. So the diva tip is use these 2 days for creative work, spending time with your kids, or joyful outing with friends, your romantic partner. And if you have been holding back on expressing yourself, this is a good window. So let it out. Now, on July 21st, the moon will enter the sign of Libra, your sixth house. Now, Libra is a Venetian and an air sign, your own ruler. So your mind becomes relational, harmonizing, and drawn toward balance. Your emotional focus shifts towards daily routine, health, and small pending matters. You may feel slightly restless with little things demanding your attention. Now, the moon from the sixth will aspect the 12th house of rest, which means your body asks for both action and quiet for these 2 days. So, the diva tip is tackle the pending task with calm mind. Do not let small work irritation grow, and eat warm meals, drink extra water, and rest properly at night. Now, on July 23rd, the moon enters Scorpio in your seventh house. Now, Scorpio is an intense and a water sign, so your mind turns deep, intuitive, and drawn to what lies beneath the surface. Your emotional focus shifts towards your partner, your spouse, or your closest one on one relationship. You will feel a strong pull to connect deeply or to have honest conversation you have been holding back. So, the tip is use these 2 days for real conversation with your partner, spouse. Listen more than you speak, and old tension can find honest resolution now. If you are single, Someone from your past may resurface with meaningful intent. So the moon week starts joyful, moves into practical midweek, and then turns deep and relational by the weekend. Now let us look at the major transit of this week. The clarity shift is what I call it. On July 24th, Mercury goes direct in Gemini in its own sign. This is happening in your second house, Taurus. So Mercury retrograde period is ending, and which has been slowing all of us down. For you, especially your finances, your family conversation, and your daily flow of money and wealth. Now, from this shift, things genuinely start to smoothen for you. Also, remember Mercury represents our communication and our intelligence. It governs how we think, speak, and connect with the world. As it turns direct this week, communication and intelligence flow smoothly for all of us, no matter the ascendant sign. Now, looking at your second house, your finances start to breathe again. Blocked payments, delayed transfer, and family funds that were stuck will begin to move. Cash flow eases up beautifully this week. Your speech also becomes sweeter and more convincing. Family conversation that felt tense will find natural warmth again. Words will land with grace and are received the way you intend. Now, investment, stock market decision, and financial planning also start moving with clarity. Small adjustment now can lock in genuine return as well. Because Mercury is your fifth lord as well, fifth lord of children, romance, creativity, and our intelligence. This direct shift specifically helps with creative projects, romantic communication, and mental clarity along around long held creative ideas. Your creative voice will also become sharper. And if you have kids, matter related to their education, expenses, or their creative development find clearer solution now. Conversation about their future also flows more easily. Misunderstanding, if any, with your romantic partner, your love interest gets resolved with smooth communication. Now, with direct Mercury, inheritance matter, tax paperwork, insurance claims, and joint financial dealings also find their way to resolution. This is through Mercury's aspect from your second house to the eighth house of hidden and shared matters. Now, business pitches or client deals, sales conversation, and marketing content flow smoothly again. What you have been refining behind the scene till now will now gain a real traction. Managing daily expenses and liquid cash feels more grounded. Your budgeting instinct sharpens now, and savings can start growing steadily again. Now, Mercury from second house, which is aspecting eighth house. One more thing I wanted to add here is hidden matters, joint finances, transformation as well. So here, Taurus, inheritance, paperwork, tax return, insurance claims, and shared financial dealing will also find their way to resolution if anything is stuck for you. Now, with this good thought, let's also see at the weekly indicator. Now you see how one planet which turns direct and so many things get sorted for us. Mercury is extremely important for all of us. Now let's look at the indicator. Personal is medium, career is medium, social is medium, love is medium, health is everything is medium for you, Taurus. Health I want to talk about here is the moon dips into the sixth house on July 21st. Now which can bring small daily irritation, a minor throat or digestive sensitivity, and slight tension in the routine. So eat warm food, home cooked meals this week and protect your throat and your voice. One more remedy I can share is because Mercury turning direct. So on Wednesday, share fresh fruits with someone in your family or in your community. Mercury going direct in the second house responds beautifully to acts of nourishment shared with others. So Taurus, the steady natives of the zodiac, this is the week for your finances and family conversation to start to flow again. So wishing you a good week ahead, and please reach out to me if you need any one-on-one consultation. The email ID and mobile number is given on the screen. All the best to all the Taurus rising. Welcome to all the Gemini rising. Gemini, we have four transit this week. Three belongs to the moon and a main one. Mercury going direct on July 24th, which is a clarity shift for this week. For Gemini, this is deeply personal. Why? Because Mercury is your Lagna Lord, your ruler, your ascendant Lord. But let us start with the moon first, the planet of emotions and feelings, and let us see how you're going to feel this week. Now, on July 19th, the moon enters the sign of Virgo in your fourth house. Virgo is in practical earth sign, so your mind becomes analytical and practical. Your emotion focus shift towards home, mother, and your inner peace. Analytical Virgo moon in the fourth wants to organize your domestic space, sort out mental clutter, and bring quite order to your life. And from the fourth house, the moon will aspect the 10th house of your career. So home and work pull at you from the opposite end. So it is like a work life balance. You will have to see these 2 days. Use these 2 days to clean up your home space and mental space as well. A tidy corner, a call to your mother, or a quiet meal at home will settle you far from any big plans. Now, on July 21st, the moon enters Libra sign, your fifth house. Libra is a Venetian air sign, so your mind becomes harmonizing and drawn towards beauty. Your emotional focus will shift toward joy, romance, creativity, and entertainment. Libra moon in the fifth wants to enjoy life and be with the people who lift you and express creativity in balanced ways. So, the moon from fifth will aspect the 11th house of gains and friends. So, it will be a good time to spend time with your friends, with your elder sibling, with your social network. Now, use these 2 days to plan a date, an outing with your romantic partner as well. A creative project also you can work on, or something which really gives you pleasure. And do not overthink and just enjoy Gemini. Now, on July 23rd, the moon will enter Scorpio in your sixth house. Scorpio is an intense sign and a water sign. So now your mind turns deep, penetrating, and intense. Your emotional focus shifts to the daily challenges, competition, and obstacles. And with Mercury going direct on July 24th, this is the ideal window to face competition head on. Clear litigation, if any, if you have, clear any dispute which is there, resolve workplace. Issues with enemies, or push through your old obstacles. Scorpio's intensity plus Mercury going direct with this clarity, it's a very, very powerful combination. So, the tip is take on the competition matter, the pending legal work, or that difficult opponent now, and your mind is very sharp and your resolve is unshakable. And but just watch your health, because sixth house is there, and sixth house energy can can make you push things too hard. So take care of yourself. So the moon week starts practical, opens up to joy and fun in the midweek, and turns sharp and competitive by the weekend. Now let us talk about the major transit of this week. The clarity shift on July 24th, Mercury, your ruler, goes direct in Gemini in your first house. This ends the retrograde period that has been slowing you down, yourself, your self expression, your body, your mental clarity, and your overall life direction. From this shift, Gemini, things generally starts to smoothen for you. Also, remember, Mercury represents a communication and intelligence. It governs how we think, speak, and connect with the world. As it turns direct this week, communication and intelligence flow smoothly for everyone, no matter your ascendant. So, the first thing is it's your first house, which represents yourself, your body, your identity, your expression, and overall life direction. So, your mental clarity returns beautifully. Confusion, self doubt, and scattered thinking that has been clouding your decisions now starts to clear. Your confidence also rebuilds if you are missing that, and you will feel more like yourself again, more grounded in who you are and what you want to do. Your body and physical energy also improves. Health matter, and which has been dragging, will also start to find resolution now, because Mercury is also your fourth lord of home, mother, property, and inner peace. This direct shift specifically brings clarity to domestic matter, family dynamics, and long pending home decision. Even property, paperwork, vehicle matter, and inner peace all will steady up. Now, Mercury from the first house will aspect your seventh house of marriage and partnership and one-on-one relationship that we have in our life. So, partnership that felt tangled during the retrograde period will find honest resolution now. Marriage conversation, business partner dynamics will all open up for clarity. For Gemini, who are into writing, speaking, teaching, media, or any kind of communication based work, this is a strong week to step forward. What you had been quietly thinking begins to land with real traction now. Your presence in every room becomes stronger. Your Lagna is going direct. People will notice you more, listen to you more carefully, and respond to your ideas with more warmth. You're back in the game again, Gemini. So, this is a good time for you. Your ascendant is pushing you and giving you all the strength. And this is a powerful transit for you. Now, with this, let's look at the weekly indicator. Personal is high, it has to be. Career and money is medium, social is medium, love is medium, health is medium. Now, on health, the moon dips into your sixth house from July 23rd, which can bring some restlessness, minor issues with your digestive or stomach, and it is asking you to sleep on time, protect your throat, and do not overload your body with too much daily hustle in the last few days of this week. And one remedy is on Wednesday, wear green and get green plants at home. Mercury going direct on your Lagna responds beautifully to acts of quiet nurturing. So take care of your indoor or outdoor plants as well. Now, Gemini, the joyful intellectual of the zodiac sign, this is the week you come back to yourself. So, wishing you a good week ahead. And you can always reach out to me on the given mobile number or email ID if you need any one on one consultation. All the best to all the Gemini rising. Welcome to all the Cancer rising. Cancer, we have four transit this week. Three belongs to the moon, your ruler, and one is about Mercury going direct on July 24th, which is the clarity shift of this week. But let us start with the moon first, the planet of emotions and feelings, to see how you're going to feel this week. Now, on July 19th, the moon enters Virgo in your third house. Now, Virgo is a practical earth sign. So, your mind becomes analytical, practical, and detailed focus. Your emotional focus shifts towards communication, siblings, short trips, and daily hustle. Analytical Virgo moon in the third sharpens your ability to send the right message, finish the writing you have been avoiding, and also you can plan a short local outing. The moon aspects ninth house from the third house, ninth house of dharma and higher learning. So use these 2 days to communicate clearly, finish the piece of writing you were holding back, or make that call to your sibling you have been putting off. A short trip planned now, maybe local or even long distance, will feel especially productive. And a conversation with your father, mentor, or guru will also be very productive. Now, on July 21st, the moon enters Libra, your fourth house. Now, Libra is an Venetian sign, an air sign. So, the mind becomes harmonizing, relational, and drawn towards beauty. Your emotional focus shifts entirely towards home, family, and your inner peace. Libra moon in the fourth wants to beautify your home space, spend so you can spend time with your mother and spend time in beautification of your home. You can even restore your emotional balance. The moon aspects on your 10th house of career, so it is asking you to maintain a work life balance as well. So honor your home, spend time with your mother, cook something, decorate a corner of the choice, your space. You can cook some nice meal for all the family members, or simply rest at home and avoid any heavy work matters if you can help it. Now, on July 23rd, moon will enter Scorpio in your fifth house. Scorpio is an intense and water sign, so your mind turns deep, passionate, and intense now. Your emotional focus shifts towards fifth house traits, which is romance, creativity, your kids. A Scorpio moon in the fifth brings depth to love, transformative creative energy, and heart centered parenting as well. The moon from the fifth will aspect your 11th house of gains and friends, so it can be a good time to have heart to heart conversation with your friends. So these are your soulful days. Have real conversation with your romantic partner, spend transformative time with your kids, or spend time on creative projects that has been pulling at your heart, and do your mantra meditation. Depth over surface is calling you here. So the moon week starts practical, opens up to inner peace midweek, and turns emotionally deep by the weekend. So here is your weekend sorted, Cancerians. Now let's look at the major transit of this week. The clarity shift is what I call it. So on July 24th, Mercury will go direct in its own sign in Gemini in your 12th house. Now, this ends the retrograde period that has been slowing down your inner life, your rest, and your foreign matter. Now, from this shift, things genuinely start to smoothen for you. Also, remember, Mercury represents our communication and intelligence. It governs how we think, speak, and connect with the world. As it turns direct in its own sign this week, communication and intelligence flow smoothly for all of us, no matter the ascendant sign. So, now looking at your 12th house, which represents foreign, isolation, sleep, rest, hidden expenses, spirituality, and our inner life, very, very profound house. So, your sleep and rest starts to smoothen. If your nights had been restless or your dreams were unclear, they now settle into deeper, more meaningful pattern. Foreign matter, visa paperwork, long distance connection, travel will all start to move now. Application that has been stuck now will find its way forward. Your intuition and inner voice sharpens. Meditation, prayer, and quiet reflection deepens naturally now. Hidden expenses and financial leak becomes visible and manageable. So you can now see where money was quietly slipping, and you can now stop it with the new clarity that you have. Because Mercury is also your third lord, which represents courage, communication, and sibling. This direct shifts specifically helps with writing, speaking, will also help sibling relationship, and will also favor short trips. Your daily voice also becomes clearer. Foreign trips is also on the card. Any foreign trip, local trip, actually all kind of trips are now favored, and will go smoothly now without any glitches. Mercury from your 12th house will aspect the 6th house of health, competition, and obstacles. So old health matters, workplace dispute, your pet's health, or legal challenges that had been dragging will now find its way towards resolution, and it will bring clarity to you for whatever sixth house traits that we were talking about. Now for Cancer, working in a creative field, in spirituality, in foreign facing any kind of work, or behind the scene fields, this is a very strong way to build quietly and confidently. Now with this good thought, let's look at your weekly indicator. Personal is high, career and money is medium. Social is medium, love is high, health is medium. The moon in Scorpio from 23rd can bring emotional intensity, so ground yourself with nature or with water this weekend. So go for a swim or take a walk on the beach if possible. Now, one another remedy I want to talk to you about is donate books or stationery item to children, to kids, or at school, and spend a few minutes in silence each morning this week. Mercury in your 12th house responds beautifully to quiet giving and inward practices. So to all the nurturers of the zodiac sign, this is the week your inner world quietly reorganizes itself. So wishing you a good week ahead, and you can always reach out to me on the given mobile number or email ID if you need to have any one-on-one consultation. All the best to all the Cancerians. Welcome to all the Leo rising. Leo, we have four transits this week. Three of them belongs to the moon, and one main one, Mercury going direct on July 24th, which is the clarity shift of this week. But let us start with the moon first, the planet of emotions and feelings, and see how you're going to feel this week. Now on July 19th, moon enters Virgo, your second house. Now, Virgo is a very practical and earth sign. So your mind becomes analytical and practical. Your emotion focus will shift towards money, family, food, and speech. Analytical Virgo moon in the second sharpens your financial thinking and help you speak with careful, precise words. The moon aspects eighth house of hidden matters from the second house. So you may also feel very intuitive about all these things. So the diva tip for these 2 days is review your finances, plan your budget, and have careful conversation with family members. Watch out what you speak. Precise words land better than loud ones now. And the moon can always make you talk more. So be careful as well. Now on July 21st, the moon enters Libra, your third house. Now Libra is a Venetian sign. It's an air sign. So your mind becomes harmonizing and drawn to connection. Your emotional focus shifts towards communication, your siblings, short trips, your skills. Now, Libra moon in the third wants graceful conversation, warm messages, and connected outings. The moon aspects your ninth house of Dharma from the third house, and you will suddenly feel some blessings are backing you up these 2 days. Make that call, send that warm message, and plan a short trip with a sibling, close friend, or with your neighbor. And these are your connection days, so enjoy. Now, on July 23rd, the moon enters Scorpio, your fourth house. Scorpio is intense and a water sign. So, your mind turns deep and intuitive. Your emotional focus shifts towards home, mother, and your inner peace. Now, Scorpio moon in the fourth brings intensity to home matter and honest conversation with your mother or with your family member. So, spend time to cook meals at home with your mother, or just be at home, have the conversation you have been avoiding, because depth over surface is here. So the moon week starts practical, opens up to connections in the midweek, and turns inward and deep by the weekend. So here is your weekend sorted, Leo. Spend good time at home. Now let us look at the major transit of this week. The clarity shift is what I call it. On July 24th, Mercury goes direct in the sign of Gemini in your 11th house. This ends the retrograde period that has been slowing down your income, your network, and your long term vision. From this shift, things generally start to smoothen for you. Also, remember, Mercury represents our communication and intelligence. It governs how we think, speak, and connect with the world. As it turns direct this week, communication and intelligence flow smoothly for everyone, no matter your ascendant sign. Now, looking at your 11th house, which represents gains, income, network, friendships, and long term desires or wishes, your income and gains start to move again. Pending payments, delayed offers, and stuck salary discussions begins to open up. Because Mercury is also your second lord of wealth, this direct shift doubly strengthens your financial situation. Both 11th and second house is included in this, so both income and saving. And this is a good one for you. Your network expands, your old friends can return with real intent, and new connections. That means something will start entering your life. Long term wishes that had felt distant suddenly now looks reachable. The path becomes clearer. Any dip with elder sibling also resolves. There is a lot of communication with clarity within your social network can also happen. Mercury from 11th house will also aspect the 5th house of children, romance, creativity, and speculation. So, creative projects will find traction, romantic communication will clear up, and matter concerning to your kids will also ease. Now, for Leo, in business, in teaching, or any field that depends on your network, your communication, this is a very strong week to reactivate old contacts and pitch confidently. Now, with this good thought, let's look at your weekly indicator. Personal is high, career and money is also high, social is also high. Wow, Leo, this is good. Love is medium, health is medium. Now, the moon in Scorpio from 23rd in your fourth house can bring some emotional intensity around your home matters. So, ground yourself, breathe, and rest up this weekend without any FOMO. That is fear of missing out, because actually it will be a JOMO for you, which is joy of missing out for this weekend. Let's also look at one of the remedy. Reconnect with your old friends, especially on a Wednesday. Send them a message or call them. Mercury in the 11th house responds beautifully to warm outreach and genuine friendships. So, to all the warm-hearted lions of the zodiac sign, this is a week of your gains and your network opens up again. Wishing you a good week ahead. Please reach out on the given mobile number or email ID if you need any one-on-one consultation. Welcome to all the Virgo rising. Virgo, we have four transit this week. Three of them belongs to the moon and one main one, Mercury, your ruler, going direct on July 24th, which I call a clarity shift of this week. And this is deeply personal for you because you are Mercury ruled ascendant, your Lagna Lord. But before we talk about Mercury, let us start with the moon first, the planet of emotions and feelings, to see how you are going to feel this week. Now, on July 19th, the moon enters Virgo, which is your first house, your own sign, your own house. You will feel yourself again, sharper, clearer, and more confident. Virgo moon on your Lagna brings more analytical clarity, mental precision, and a strong sense of what you want. The moon aspect seventh house of partnership, which brings emotional connection and bonding with your partner as well. So, use this power days, take the lead, make the decision, have the conversation with your partner or business associate. Your presence carries real weight right now. Then on July 21st, the moon will enter Libra, your second house. Now, Libra is a Venetian and air sign. So, your mind becomes harmonizing and drawn to grace. Your emotional focus shifts towards money, family, food, and speech. Libra moon in the second one, sweeter conversations, sweet food, aesthetic meals, and balanced financial thinking. The moon from here will aspect your eighth house of hidden matters, will make you more intuitive. So, the tip here is go for that facial, speak softly with your family, enjoy beautiful home cooked meals, and take a gentle look at your finances as well. Grace over force is leading these 2 days. Now, on July 23rd, Moon will enter Scorpio in your third house. Now, Scorpio is intense and a water sign, so your mind turns deep, intense, and penetrating. Your emotional focus shifts towards communication, courage, and your sibling, your neighbor, your cousins, office, work colleagues, your skills. Scorpio Moon in the third brings real courage to speak the difficult truth or finish the tough conversation you had been holding on to. Now, from the third house, Moon will also aspect the ninth house, which means luck is also backing you up. So, the Diva tip is the raise any conversation that you have been avoiding, be it with your sibling or close contact. Your words carry unusual depth now. So, also very good 2 days to write that script, which needs depth and passion, just like Scorpion. And avoid impulsive speech, as you would end up speaking more than needed, because Moon in the sign of in the third house in the sign of communication will can make us tend to speak more. So the moon week starts very confident, opens up to grace in the midweek, and turns bold and honest by the weekend. I hope you enjoy the moon's journey, Virgos, because I share all this so that you can prepare yourself, and it can make you self-aware how your week is going to be and how you should be best utilizing it. And because moon travels, every second day, that is how we don't feel the same each day. So anyway, all the best to you, and let's now move to the next one. Yes, the next one is the major one, transit, the clarity shift. On July 24th, Mercury, your ruler, goes direct in the sign of Gemini in your 10th house. This ends the retrograde period that has been slowing down your career, your public reputation, and your visibility as well. Now, from this shift, things will genuinely start to smoothen for you. Also, remember Mercury represents communication and intelligence for all of us. It governs how we think, speak, and connect with the world. As it turns direct in its own sign this week, communication and intelligence flow smoothly for everybody, no matter your ascendant. But here, your ascendant is also Mercury, so it does matter to you. Now, looking at your 10th house, which represents our career, public reputation, our karma, our daily karma. Now, you will likely to change or pay attention to how you present visually at work, because first house ruler is also in the 10th house. So, how you walk, you talk, you carry, you may update your LinkedIn profile and spend time on your own portfolio. You stop trying to fit in, but you want to stand out. Lagna Lord in 10th in its own sign. This is the transit of great to show great moves, especially at your workplace. Now, secondly, your career direction also clears up. So, if there was any confusion about your professional path, pending discussions about job, any important projects, any stalled important project will now begin to move. As Gemini is a dual sign, you are likely to pivot into the dual role, take a secondary project, and you can create a niche within a niche at work, which can make you highly specialized and distant from your peers. Now, because Mercury is also your Lagna Lord, the direct shift specifically rebuilds your confidence, your mental clarity, your personal magnetism. You come back to yourself and you feel confident. Now, this transit often marks the exact moment an abstract idea becomes tangible within a piece of intellectual property or a blueprint that defines your professional authority. So, if there is any ideas on your mind, this is the time that you can talk about it. Your visibility also rises. Bosses and seniors, colleagues, everyone notices you. Opportunities that had been dormant becomes visible again. Communication at work also becomes cleaner. Emails, meetings, and pitches starts landing the way you intended. Mercury from 10th will aspect the fourth house of home, mother, property, and inner peace. So, domestic matter, mother's well being, and property paperwork also find their way toward clarity now. Now, for Virgo in writing, teaching, media, sales, or any communication based career, this is a strong week to step forward. What you have been quietly refining lands with real recognition now. So many good things for you, Virgo, which is coming now. Now, with this good thought, let's look at your weekly indicator. Now, personal is high. It has to be your Lagna Lord going direct. Career and money is also high. Your 10th house is all active. Social is medium. Love is medium. Health is medium. Now, on health, the moon will be in Scorpio from July 23rd in your third house. That can bring some mental restlessness and impulsive speech energy. So, slow down before speaking sharp words and protect your throat and nervous system this weekend. One remedy is that update your professional profile or write a clear message to a mentor or a senior this Wednesday. Mercury in the 10th house responds beautifully to clean professional communication and honest self expression. So, to all the intellectual and practical natives of the zodiac sign, this is the week your career and clarity returns together. So, wishing you a good week ahead, and you can always reach out to me if you need any one on one consultation. Email ID and phone number is given on the screen. All the best to all the Virgo rising. Welcome to all the Libra rising. Libra, you are one of my favorites. You are really, really balanced sign. Now, Libra, we have four transits this week. Three of them belongs to the moon, and the main one is Mercury going direct on July 24th, which is what I call a clarity shift for the week. But before we talk about Mercury, let's start with the moon first, the planet of emotions and feelings, to see how we are going to feel this week. On July 19th, the moon enters Virgo, your 12th house. Now, Virgo is a very practical and earth sign. So your mind becomes analytical and detailed focused. But because this is your 12th house, the analysis turns inward. So your emotional focus shifts towards rest, quiet reflection, and inner processing. Analytical Virgo moon in the 12th wants to organize your mental space and understand what has been quietly draining you. So the tip here is have enjoy this quiet 2 days, rest properly, journal, meditate, or simply spend time alone. Avoid crowds and big social plans these 2 days. Your body and mind needs to reset. Now on July 21st, the moon enters Libra, your first house, your own sign. You will feel yourself again, very graceful, balanced, and magnetic, like you are Librans. And Libra moon on your Lagna brings harmonious presence, relational warmth, and strong sense of what you want. The moon will aspect the seventh house of partnership, and it can create nice bonding, good time with your partner or spouse. Now the tip here is these are your power days. So schedule important meetings, connect with your partner, or step into any space where your presence matters. People will be drawn to you naturally. You're anyway a charmer, Libran. Now on July 23rd, the moon enters Scorpio, your second house. Now, Scorpio is an intense and a water sign. So your mind turns deep and penetrating. Your emotional focus will shift towards money, family, food, and speech. Scorpio moon in the second brings intensity to your words. And depth to your financial decisions. And from the second house, moon will aspect the eighth house, which adds intuition and intensity. So the diva tip here is speak carefully with family, especially about a money matter. Deep conversation lands free now, and you can avoid sharp words. Watch what you eat, Scorpio. Second house energy can pull you towards overindulgence as well. So the moon week starts quiet, opens up at your natural grace in the midweek, and turns deep by the weekend. Now, let us look at the major transit of this week. The clarity shift is what I call it. On July 24th, Mercury goes direct in Gemini in its own sign in your ninth house. This ends the retrograde period that has been slowing down your fortune, your father, your dharma, and your higher learning. And from this time, it will shift things genuinely start to smoothen for you. Also, remember, Mercury represents our communication and intelligence. It governs how we think, speak, and connect with the world. As it turns direct in its own sign this week, communication intelligence flows smoothly for everyone, no matter what is your ascendant sign. Now, looking at the ninth house, which represents your fortune, father, guru, dharma, higher learning, your philosophy for life, and long distance travel. So, your fortune starts to move, blocked opportunities, delayed blessings, and stuck luck begins to open up now. Your relationship with your father, mentor, your guru becomes clearer. Conversation that has been strained. Find warmer ground. High education plan, visa paperwork, foreign trip, or a long distance connection starts to flow smoothly again. As Gemini is a dual sign, it might happen such as you are getting accepted in two universities, two programs. You have two choices to attend seminar abroad. So two invitation, two destinations. Now this is brilliant, Lipton. Now your dharmic direction also sharpens, and if you have been questioning your path or your values, clarity will return now because Mercury is your 12th lord of foreign matters, rest, and our inner life. This direction specifically helps with foreign settlement, foreign matter, retreats, spiritual matters, and hidden expenses, but they are all manageable now. Mercury from the ninth house will aspect the third house of communication, courage, sibling, and daily hustle. So, your voice, your writing, your sibling relationship, and your daily effort all clear up alongside. For Librans in teaching, publishing, law, dharmic work, or even international business, or if you're working in foreign country, this is a strong week to move forward with clarity. Now with this good thought, let's look at your weekly indicator. Personal is medium, career is medium, social is medium, love is everything is medium for you, Libra, nothing to worry. So the moon in the 12th house on health, this is 2 days you need to take care because it can bring low energy or mental fatigue. The moon in Scorpio from 23rd will also bring some emotional intensity around family and food. So meditate and rest well early in the week, and eat with awareness by the weekend. And one more remedy is call your father if he is living at a distant place, or your mentor, especially this Wednesday, or read a chapter of a spiritual text. These are all good remedies because Mercury in your ninth house responds beautifully to on the all the acts that honor your elders and your inner learning, your inner growth. So to all the graceful Librans, this is the week your fortune and clarity returns together. Wishing you a very good week ahead, and you can always reach out to me on the given mobile number or email ID if you need any one-on-one conversation. All the best to all the Lib. Welcome to all the Scorpio rising. Scorpio, we have four transits this week. Three belongs to the moon, and one is a very important one. Mercury going direct on July 24th, which is the clarity shift of the week. But let us start with the moon first, the planet of emotions and feelings, to see how we are going to feel this week. Now, on July 19th, the moon enters Virgo in your 11th house. Virgo isn't very practical and earth sign, so your mind becomes analytical and practical. Your emotional focus shifts towards gains, network, friends, and long term wishes. Analytical Virgo moon in the 11th sharpens your ability to see which friendship and goal are truly worth your energy. The moon aspects the fifth house of romance and creativity. So, these 2 days, what you can do is review your network and reconnect with your friends who genuinely matter. Filter out the surface connection and focus on the real ones. Even it is a good spend time with your romantic partner or spend time with your kids. If you're into any creative projects, these 2 days are very good for that as well. Now, on July 21st, Moon will enter Libra, your 12th house. Now, Libra is a Venetian and an air sign, so your mind becomes harmonizing and relational. But because this is the 12th house, the harmony will turn inward, which is good. So, your emotional focus shifts towards rest, quiet reflection, and gentle spiritual work. Libra Moon in the 12th wants beauty in solitude, aesthetic rest, and quiet inner processing. So, these are your inward days. Rest properly, take time alone, or plan a small, quiet ritual for yourself. Maybe book that spa or go to that retreat if possible. Avoid heavy social commitments because your body needs the pause right now. Now, on July 23rd, the moon enters Scorpio, your first house, your own sign. Now, you will feel yourself again intense, powerful, and clear. Scorpio moon on your Lagna brings deep magnetism, sharp intuition, and a strong sense of what you want. The moon will aspect the seventh house of partnership, and your bonding with your partner can also deepen. So use this power days, take the lead, make the decision, have that deep conversation with your partner. Your presence carries unusual weight now. So the moon week starts practical, opens up on quiet reflection in the midweek, and turns powerful and magnetic by the weekend. Now let us look at the major transit of this week. I call it the clarity shift. On July 24th, Mercury goes direct in Gemini in your 8th house. Now this ends the retrograde period that has been slowing down your joint finances, hidden matter, and your transformative process. Now, from this shift, things generally start to smoothen. Also, remember Mercury represents our communication and intelligence. It governs how we speak, how we talk, how we connect with the world. As it turns direct in its own sign this week, communication and intelligence flow smoothly for everyone, for all of us, no matter the ascendant sign. Now, looking at your 8th house, which represents your transformation, joint finances, inheritance, insurance, tax matters, occult, and hidden dynamics. Joint finances matters start to clear. Insurance claims, if they were stuck, they will all start moving. Tax refunds can also start processing, and shared money that had been stuck now will find its way forward. Inheritance matters, we have already spoken. Family property discussion or ancestral wealth issues will also find its place now. And instead of feeling weighted down by subconscious anxiety or old pattern, old baggage, the Mercury direct station gives you the ability to view your own psychological machinery very objectively. Now, this is a brilliant time, Scorpio, because self awareness, and self help will come to your rescue. Your intuition will sharpen dramatically. You are anyway very intuitive. Research, investigation work, occult, or deep therapy sessions becomes more productive and revealing. Now, because Mercury is also your 11th lord of gains and network, this direct shift brings unexpected income, financial gains through hidden channels, or gains that can come through your extended network, through your friends, social network, elder sibling. So while it might look nothing is happening on the surface on your social life, but underneath, a powerful alliance is being quietly codified. Now, Mercury from your 8th house will also aspect the second house of wealth, family, speech, and food. So, family conversation that had been tense will soften. Your words carry more grace now, and financial clarity within the household will also improve. Now, Scorpio working in research, therapy, occult, insurance, taxation, handling other people's money if you're a CA, or any debt based field. This is a very, very strong week to complete stalled work and take on new depth in your career. Now, with this good thought, let's look at the weekly indicator. Yes, I wanted to add one thing. Any tip with your in-laws if you're married, that will also get resolved this week. Now, personal is medium, career and money is medium, love is medium, social is medium. Everything is medium for you, Scorpio. Nothing to worry. The moon on your Lagna on 23rd will amplify emotional intensity. So you need to channelize it well. The best thing to do here is do the grounding exercise, walk barefoot on the ground, and do a warm foot soak if you can. Now, one more remedy is write down three things that you're ready to release this week, and then quietly let them go. Mercury in your eighth house responds beautifully to act of honest inner release. So, to all the intuitive Scorpions, this is the week of your hidden matter and clarity returns together. So, wishing you a good week ahead, and you can always reach out to me on the given mobile number or email ID if you need any one-on-one consultation. All the best to all of you. Welcome to all the Sagittarius rising. Sagittarian, we have four transit this week. Three of them belongs to the moon, and one main one where Mercury is going direct on July 24th, which I call a clarity shift of this week. But let us start with the moon first, the planet of emotions and feelings, to see how you're going to feel this. On July 19th, moon will enter Virgo, your 10th house. Virgo is a very practical and earthy sign. So your mind becomes analytical, practical, and detailed focused. Your emotional focus shifts entirely towards career status, public reputation, your work. An analytical Virgo moon in the 10th sharpens your professional thinking and helps you finish precise, high quality work. The moon from 10th will aspect home, and you will need to keep the work life balance. So use these 2 days to have the balance, but focus on your career move. Send all the important emails, finish the report, take on that strategic task, and home and work will pull. So prioritize accordingly. Now on 21st, moon will enter the sign of Libra in your 11th house. Libra is an Venetian and air sign. So your mind becomes harmonizing and drawn to connection. Your emotional focus shifts towards gains, friends, long-term wishes, your social network. Libra moon in the 11th brings graceful conversation with your network and warm reconnection with old friends. The moon aspects the fifth house of romance and creativity. So reconnect with your network with warmth, a message to an old friend, an invitation to a small gathering, or a graceful conversation with a colleague or with your romantic partner will land beautifully. You're full of charm, Sagittarius. Now on July 23rd, the moon enters Scorpio, your 12th house. Now Scorpio is an intense and a water sign, so your mind turns deep, intense. But because this is happening in your 12th house, the intensity will turn inward. So your emotional focus shifts towards rest, hidden matter, and quiet processing. And Scorpio moon in the 12th brings vivid dreams, deep intuitions, and a strong pull towards solitude. So, what you can do these 2 days is reflect inward, rest properly, sleep on time, and journal what you dream. Avoid crowds and heavy commitments because your body and mind needs the quiet. So for you, the moon week starts very career focused, opens up to warm connection midweek, and turns deep and inward by the weekend. Now let us look at the major transit of this week. The clarity shift is what I call it. On July 24th, Mercury goes direct in the sign of Gemini in the seventh house. This ends the retrograde period that has been slowing down your marriage, partnership, and public dealing. Now, from this shift, things genuinely start to smoothen for you. And also remember, Mercury represents our communication and intelligence. It governs how we think, we speak, we connect with the world. As it turns direct in its own sign this week, communication and intelligence flow smoothly for all of us, no matter the ascendant sign. Now, looking at the seventh house, where Mercury is going direct, which represents your married spouse, business partnership, and any one-on-one relationship you have, all the public dealings as well. So your partnership starts to breathe again. Marriage conversation that has been tangled, business dealing that felt stalled, and one-on-one connection that felt frozen. Everything begins to move. Your spouse, your business partner becomes more open, more expressive, and easier to reach. Contract, agreement, and legal partnership paperwork also starts moving with a lot of clarity. You would have an edge or likely discover a hidden point of leverage or a dual option in the contract. So instead of just signing a simple contract, you will be able to restructure terms or include a secondary term of income or get a dual role that elevates your professional status overnight. The new terms and condition heavily favors you. Why all this is happening? Because Gemini is a dual sign and everything dual can happen in your favor. Now, because Mercury is also your 10th lord of career, this is very good. This direct shifts specifically links partnership success to career success as well. Career growth or intellectual breakthrough through your partner, spouse, or business collaborator becomes very visible now. Mercury from 7th will aspect the first house, yourself, your body. So, your own personality, there is confidence and clarity, and anything that was missing out will rebuild alongside with your partnership growth. So you and your spouse both, can do well together with a lot of clarity. Now, for Sagittarius in business, consulting, public relationship, law, or any partnership based field, any communication based field, this is a very strong week to reactivate stalled deals and finalize pending agreements. Now, with this good thought, let's look at the weekly indicator. Personal is high, career and money is high, social is high, love is high. Wow. Only health is medium because the moon in the 12th house from 23rd can bring low physical energy and disturb sleep by the weekend. So, what we can do is rest early, sleep on time, and avoid draining conversation in the last few days of this week. One more remedy is have an honest, warm conversation with your partner or business associate. Mercury in the 7th house responds beautifully to open, generous communication in your closest relationship. So, to all the wise hearted archers, this is the week your partnership and clarity returns together. So, wishing you a very good week ahead, and please reach out to me if you need any one on one consultation. The mobile number and the email ID is given on the screen. All the best to all. Welcome to all the Capricorn rising. Capricorn, we have four transits this week. Three of them belongs to the moon and one main one, very important one where Mercury is going direct on July 24th, which is the clarity shift for all of us this week. But let us start with the moon first, the planet of emotions and feelings, to see how you're going to feel this week. On July 19th, the moon enters Virgo in your ninth house. Now, Virgo is a very practical and earthy sign. So, your mind becomes analytical and detail focused. Your emotional focus shifts towards fortune, father, guru, higher learning, foreign travel, long distance travel. Now, analytical Virgo moon in 9 brings sharp clarity about your life path and honest reflection on your dharmic direction as well. So, use these 2 days to reflect on your bigger life direction. Call your father, mentor, or read something meaningful, or plan a small, maybe a pilgrimage or a long distance trip. Now, on July 21st, moon will enter Libra in your 10th house. Now, Libra is an Venetian sign, an air sign. So, your mind becomes harmonizing and relational. Your emotional focus now shifts towards career, status, and public reputation. Libra moon in the 10th brings graceful professional presence and warm diplomatic communication with people at work, especially with your seniors. Now, handle career matters with grace and not force. A gentle email to your boss, a diplomatic handling of a difficult colleague, or a well time pitch will all land beautifully now. You would also love to dress well for your work meeting. Now, on July 23rd, the moon enters Scorpio into your 11th house. Now, Scorpio is an intense and a water sign, so your mind turns deep and penetrating. Your emotional focus shifts towards gains, network, friends, and long term wishes. Now, Scorpio moon in the 11th brings intense, meaningful reconnection with people who matter to you and help you filter surface friendship from the real one. So, the tip is reconnect deeply with the friends and network member who genuinely matter to you and let the surface connection quietly fall away. Depth over quantity is here. So the moon week starts reflecting, open up to career grace midweek and turns deeply relational by the weekend. Now let us look at the major transit of this week. The clarity shift on July 24th. Mercury goes direct in the sign of Gemini in your sixth house. This ends the retrograde period that has been slowing down your health, your daily routine, and your competitive edge. Now, from this shift, things generally start to smoothen for you. Also, remember Mercury represents our communication and intelligence. It governs how we think, how we speak, and connect with the world. So, as it turns direct in its own sign this week, communication and intelligence both flow smoothly for all of us, no matter your ascendant sign. So, looking at your sixth house, which represents our health, obstacles, debts, competition, our service, our daily hustle. So, your health starts to improve. That is first. Old health matters matters that has been dragging or minor issues that has been lingering will now find its way towards resolution. You can stop pushing through the daily chaos. A sudden burst of mental clarity is going to help you to automate most tedious, maybe 50% of your daily grind, so you can finally breathe. Old debts, pending EMIs, and stuck financial obligation also starts to move. Paperwork can get a clearing, and repayment plans will also become very manageable. Workplace competition and daily struggles will become easier to handle, and stuck workplace matter will also find clarity. Legal matter, litigation, and long pending disputes also starts moving forward toward resolution now. Communication with everyday colleague also improves. Any misunderstanding also get dissolved. So which were there in the Mercury retrograde if you were feeling. Now because Mercury is also a ninth lord of fortune, this direct shift specifically brings fortune and luck from the ninth house, comes to your daily routine and service. So this is very helpful to overcome obstacles as well. Mercury from your sixth house will also aspect the 12th house of rest, foreign matter, and hidden expenses. Sleep cycle can improve, hidden financial drains can become visible and manageable, and foreign matter starts to move. For Capricorn, in service based fields, in medicine, in law, in healing, or in any competitive work, or if you are in a service industry, this is a strong week to complete stalled cases and finish pending service commitments. Now, with this good thought, let us look at your weekly indicator. Person is high, career and money is also high. Social is medium, love is medium, health is medium. Even with Mercury going direct, improving your sixth house, do not push your body too hard, especially early in the week. The moon in Scorpio from 23rd can bring emotional intensity around friendships and gains. So ground yourself with a lot of rest. One more remedy I can share with you here is serve someone in need, feed stray animal, or help a colleague quietly. Mercury in the sixth house represents beautifully to the acts of selfless service and daily kindness. So to all the disciplined climbers of the zodiac sign, this is the week your health and your daily flow returns together. Wishing you a good week ahead, and please reach out to me on the given mobile number or email ID if you need any one-on-one consultation. All the best to all of you. Welcome to all the Aquarius rising. Aquarius, we have four transit this week. Three of them belongs to the moon, and the main one is Mercury going direct on 24th, which is the clarity shift of this week. But let us start with the moon first, the planet of emotions and feelings, to see how we are going to feel this week. On July 19th, the moon enters Virgo, your eighth house. Virgo is an practical and earthy sign, so your mind becomes analytical and detail focused. But because this is your eighth house, the analysis turns inward and deep. Your emotional focus shifts towards hidden matters, joint finances, and inner transformation. Analytical Virgo in the eighth sharpens your ability to research or to investigate what has been buried and untangled complex situation that you are handling. So the tip here is these are the 2 days for honest inner work, research, or sorting out anything that has been troubling you, and avoid quick reaction. Deep observation will win here. On July 23rd, the moon enters Scorpio in your 10th house. Now, Scorpio is an intense and water sign, so your mind turns deep, intense, and driven. Your emotional focus shifts towards career, status, and public reputation. Scorpio moon in the 10th brings powerful ambitions, sharp strategic thinking, and unshakable focus on your professional goals. So, these are your ambitious days. Take on the big career move, the important discussion, the important pitch, or a strategic decision. Your focus is unusually sharp. Use it. So the moon week starts investigative, opens up on dharmic grace, and in the midweek, and turns career driven by the weekend. Now let us look at the major transit of this week. The clarity shift is what I call it. On July 24th, Mercury goes direct in the sign of Gemini, your fifth house. This ends the retrograde period that has been slowing down your romance, your children, your creativity, and intelligence. From this shift, things genuinely start to smoothen. Also, remember, Mercury represents our communication and intelligence. It governs how we speak, we think, and connect with the world. As it turns direct in its own sign this week, communication and intelligence both flow smoothly for all of us, no matter your ascendant. So, now looking at your fifth house, which represents our romantic life, our kids, creativity, intelligence and spiritual practices, even speculation. Your mental clarity and intelligence come back sharper. Confusion in your creative process, decision paralysis, or scattered thinking now start to clear. Creative projects find new momentum. Writers, artists, performers, and content creators feel the ideas flow again after weeks of stuck energy. As Mercury aspects the house of network, the 11th house from the 5th, a creative block with friends or group project is about to break. You will finally figure out how to align your personal vision with the right set of people to get stuck projects off the ground. Now, for students, if you have been trying to learn a complex, mysterious, or highly technical subject or topic, this is the moment. It will click or connect all the missing dots for you. Now, on romantic communication, this will also open up conversation with your partner that had felt tense will now soften and love will find a warmer expression. If your kids matters concerning their education, communication, or emotional well-being, this will also find clarity now. Now, because Mercury is also your eighth lord of hidden matter and joint finances, this direct shifts specifically helps you with any tax, insurance, inheritance, or shared financial paperwork. All of these will also find resolution. Mercury from 5th will aspect 11th, as we've spoken. The 11th houses gains and network and friends. So creative work that had been paused starts translating into income because that's the house of gain. And your network will respond warmly to what you produce now. You get clarity around speculative gains as well, your stock, your share portfolio. So if you research well and apply your intellect, this is the lucky transit to turn a speculative risk into a major win. For all Aquarian, if you're in teaching, mentoring, or even communication service based, this is a very strong week to release what you have been building quietly. With this good thought, let's look at the weekly indicator. Personal is medium, career and money is high, social is medium, love is high, health is medium. The moon in Scorpio from 23rd in your 10th house can bring career pressure and mental strain. So sleep on time and do not carry work stress back at home in the evening. And one more remedy is do something creative purely for yourself. Write, paint, sing, or make music with no goal or outcome. Mercury in fifth house responds beautifully to creativity offered as joy and not as work. So to all the visionary water bearer, this is the week of your creativity and clarity returns together. So wishing you a good week ahead, and you can always reach out to me if you need any one-on-one consultation. The phone number and the email ID is given on the screen. All the best to all of. Welcome to all the Pisces rising. Pisces, we have four transits this week. Three of them belongs to the moon and one main one where Mercury is going direct on July 24th, which is the clarity shift for all of us this week. But before we talk about Mercury going direct, let's talk about the moon first, the planet of emotions and feelings, to see how you're going to feel this week. On July 19th, the moon enters Virgo, your seventh house. Now, Virgo is an practical and earthy sign. So, your mind becomes analytical and detail focused. Your emotional focus shifts towards your partner, your spouse, or your closest one on one relationship. Analytical Virgo moon in the seventh brings precise thinking about your partnership dynamics and helps you see clearly what needs attention. Now, use these 2 days for honest, thoughtful conversation with your partner, with your spouse, and speak precisely and not emotionally. And if you're single, be observant of who enters your life right now. Now, on July 21st, Moon enters Libra, sign of Libra, in your eighth house. Now, Libra is a Venetian and an air sign, so your mind becomes harmonizing and drawn to balance. But because this is your eighth house, the harmony turns inward. Your emotional focus shifts towards hidden matters, joint finances, and your inner transformation. Now, Libra Moon in the eighth brings graceful healing or handling of complex matters and very diplomatic resolution to the deep tensions. So, handle sensitive matters with grace and not force. A calm conversation about shared finances, a diplomatic approach to a hidden tension, or a quiet inner reflection will land beautifully now. Even conversation with your in laws will go very well. Now, on July 23rd, Moon will enter Scorpio in your ninth house. Now, Scorpio is an intense sign, it's an water sign. So, your mind turns deep, intuitive, and searching. Your emotional focus shifts towards fortune, father, guru, dharma, and higher learning. even long distance travel. Scorpio moon in the ninth brings intense dharmic questioning and powerful spiritual insight. Use this 2 days for consider them as your soulful days. Have the deep conversation with your mentor or with your father. Read something transformational which inspires you, or spend time in genuine reflection about your life path. So the moon week starts precise and relational, opens up to graceful depth in the midweek, and turns spiritual intense by the weekend. Now let us talk about the major transit this week. Very important one, the clarity shift. On July 24th, Mercury goes direct in the sign of Gemini in your fourth house. This ends the retrograde period that has been slowing down your home, mother, property, and inner peace. From this shift, things genuinely start to smoothen for your Pisces. And also remember, Mercury represents our communication and intelligence. It governs how we think, speak, and connect with the world. As it turns direct this week, it's in its own sign. Communication and intelligence both flow smoothly for all of us, no matter our ascendant sign. Now, looking at your fourth house, which represents our home, mother, inner peace, our property, vehicles, our primary education, and our domestic bliss. Now, your home matter starts to breathe again. Family conversation that has been tangled, domestic tension that fell stuck, or misunderstanding or miscommunication happening within family members, and household decisions that were paused now begins to move. One of my friend's daughter lives in a hostel and is not happy and having a difficult time with her roomie or room partner. Especially they are not aligning on the communication. Lot of miscommunication is happening. So while I was saying this point, I remember her and I just realized that the daughter now who is a Pisces rising will finally find a peace, or get on the same page, with the room partner. Things related to inner peace and especially the domestic living arrangement will also get sorted out. So if you're listening, this is the solution. This is the solution. Me now, your mother's well-being comes into focus with clarity, and if she had health matters or emotional concerns, they also find warmer ground now. Property, paperwork, vehicle matters, and its property estate decisions and long pending home renovation discussions and action will also start moving forward. Your inner peace will steady, and mental clutter and restlessness that has been sitting inside now clears, and the calmness also returns now, because Mercury is also your seventh lord of marriage and partnership. This direct shift specifically links home life to the partnership life, so the conversation with your spouse about home, family, or living arrangement becomes easier and cleaner. Now Mercury from the fourth will aspect the 10th house of career, so career direction, professional communication, and public recognition all find clarity alongside your home matters. Working from home will also be very productive for you, and you can enjoy spending time at home as you would find a lot of answers or clarification around your day to day life where things are getting stuck while you are at home. Now, for Pisces, other than working from home, if you work in real estate, in family business, or in nurturing profession, if you're a therapist, if you're in nursing, anything, which is about caring, about giving, like even for teaching care work, this is a very very strong week for you, and you will see things are moving forward for you. Now with this brilliant thought, let's look at the weekly indicator. Now personal is medium, career, money is medium, social is medium, love is medium, health, everything is medium for you, Pisces. Nothing to worry. Saturn continues to sit in your Lagna, so mental fatigue and slower body energy remains in the background. The moon in Scorpio from July 23rd also adds emotional intensity, so ground yourself with rest, use water, and quiet time for this weekend. So, to all the soulful laters, all the sweetheart of the zodiac, this is the week your home and clarity return together. Wishing you a very good week ahead, and you can always reach out to me on the given mobile number or email ID if you need any one on one consultation. Now, this sums up our weekly predictions. Take what resonate and leave what does not. As always, we say that astrology is not about prediction, but it is about preparation. So, hope you are all prepared and geared up for the coming week with a lot of clarity and smooth communication. Have a successful week ahead, and I'll see you in the next video. Jai Hari Vithala.